Hey, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to check if a domain has an MX record, which essentially means that's the DNS record that they have to have in order to have an email attached to it. Like if the domain is example.com and you're trying to find if John has an email at example.com, that example.com domain has to have an MX record, so it's not even worth checking if they have an email at it if it doesn't have the MX record on it. So the way we can do this is very, very simple. So here I just have an example sheet. These are just Apollo leads. You just need a list of domains. You don't even need any of this stuff. I'm just trying to show it in a somewhat real world example. But you just need a list of domains and then a way to store the results of the domains. So this is super simple. What we're going to do is I'm just getting these domains via Google Sheets, and then I'm only going to run 10 for now because, I don't want to update this too many times. But essentially this is the endpoint we're going to use. This is a completely free endpoint. You don't even need any authorization. Essentially it's just https dns.google/resolve. Method is get, and then we just send two different query parameters. The name is essentially just the domain, and you want to feed in the domain from wherever you're getting your domains from. This could be manual entry, or it could be in this case it's loop over items, just because I'm iterating through all of these domains in the Google Sheet. And then this is what's important. This is the type of DNS record we're checking for, which is MX. Again, that's what allows the emails, to like send and receive emails. It just has to have it. You don't really even need to understand the tech behind it. That's what it has to have in order to have an email address on the domain. So after that, we're going to update it. Now I just created this expression. It's going to be easier if I run this first so you can see what I'm talking about. Essentially, it sends a question to Google, and in human terms, it's saying, does this domain have an MX record? If this answer contains any of these different items or objects, it means it has an MX record. But if it's empty, it does not have an MX record. So what I did is I came over to this GPT, N8N assistant, drug dealers versus professors. That's crazy. Essentially, we have an expression that says, is the length greater than 0? That means it has one of these objects in there, which, like I said, means it has an MX record, which means it can receive emails. So we're going to output yes if it does, but if it's 0 and it doesn't contain any of those objects, it means it doesn't have an MX record. We're outputting no. You can customize this however you want. This GPT is super duper useful. Check it out for sure. It's completely free, obviously. But what we're going to do is update this domain has MX. It's like I'm putting this in question format. You could put a question mark here. Does it have an MX? And then let's just run it and see the type of data we're getting. So if I click on execute workflow, let's execute this. 1 second. Let's see. Do we get the data back here? Let me refresh this. Domain has MX. I'm going to just copy this expression again. Expression. There we go. I don't know what went wrong there. Okay, now we're looping through these. So some of these domains do have MX records. A lot of them actually. Daggum. I'm so used to working with local businesses recently. A ton of them don't have MX. But essentially, this company, for example, does not have an MX record, which means they don't have an email, like a business email attached that's going to be valid. So it's not even worth validating. It's not worth checking. They don't have MX records. They can't receive your email. It's not worth it. But ad spiders do, so they're worth checking for an email at because, they can, and they've obviously gone through the trouble to set it up. So this is probably a valid email. Maybe. We go over to use bouncer real quick. Let's just see. But essentially, it's just a good backend to have, especially if you have like a huge list and for some reason your email verifier, so there we go, deliverable, your email finder doesn't charges you not only for verified emails, but charges you for all. This is obviously a super good use case for that. I wouldn't use an email finder like that, but especially for email verification, it's bad if they don't have an MX record. So what's even the point in verifying it? Just get them out of there. Don't even check for an email. It's bad unless you're obviously checking for something like at gmail.com domains. For that, I would just use like a server query. You can obviously scrape the website, but you can also do a site : and then the domain, and then in quotes you can do like email or contact, and then it's going to pull up a snippet, and you can have AI analyze, does this have an email, and then filter. I like to filter emails. But that's essentially it. That's how you check for the MX records with this free endpoint. Again, here you can screenshot this. It's literally all you have to do. But I hope you found this video useful, and everybody take care.